Super excited to interview one of our CBDpreneur kit owners. I am the CEO and founder of WH Farms. We are an industrial hemp farm based in Eastern North Carolina. And our hemp farm, in addition to providing quality hemp and CBD extract to a lot of individuals around the country, etc. I don't know if you guys saw my Insta stories, but we recently inked a deal where we're in 250 retail stores in the New England market. Hey, girlfriend.
Hey.
Hi, Sabrina. I'm so excited to see you. I was just introducing everyone to WH Farm. So before we jump into your experience, I wanted to let them know why you're even here this evening. So, guys, WH Farms is a cannabis farm. We grow industrial hemp. And one of the things that hemp is known for is CBD. It's a very potent and powerful extract. And this extract, the CBD extract, is something that is extremely popular because now we are in a season where, as a society, we're choosing plant over pills. We're choosing wellness and opportunities to do so in a more natural way. We're learning more about our body and ways in which we can combat some of the pain and some of the challenges that we face without depending on opioids. And so what we came up with to help people, because I'm all about everybody getting their bag. I'm all about people, especially individuals who are ambitious, who are excited, who didn't get generational wealth passed down to them. We are literally creating the generational wealth in this lifetime, in this generation. I wanted to create something for us. And so what we did as a farm is that I decided to create what we know as the CBD Business Launch Kit. And this Business Launch Kit gives you an opportunity to actually get 50 grams of distillate. This is 100 grams. I always have to tell people that, but it's 50 grams of distillate, which is enough to make about 2,000 products, which I am so excited to talk to Sabrina about this because that part we're going to talk about. And you're going to also get a strategy guide that shows you 10 ways to turn this kit, this 2,000 grams, 50 grams of distillate into at least $25,000. And you also get great education. And so I wanted to interview one of our CBDpreneurs, Miss Sabrina Crowder, who literally, I mean, you got your kit when?
A week and a half ago.
Okay. Guys, let me just say, I'm so excited for Sabrina because she was able to send us emails and show us videos of her actually working with her distillate and creating edibles. So Sabrina, tell everybody, first introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're chiming in from, and then just let them know where to follow you and how to follow your business before we get started in the conversation.
Okay, so I'm Sabrina. I am in Washington, D.C.
Hey,
and
TC.
Yeah, you can follow me at Relax Mom Co. So I am possibly a serial entrepreneur now.
Possibly.
Yeah, I got a few more things to do until, but I'm a corporate exec. I'm a mom. I'm a college tuition payer. I'm a, like everything that we all are. And so This is an awesome opportunity, and the marketplace is being wonderful to me. And I just literally stepped into it, and
so let's talk
it's been
about
good.
What made you said you're a corporate exec, serial entrepreneur, so you built businesses on the side, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
And your mom. How old are your children?
27 and 9.
She looks 20. Yes. So how can she have a 20-year-old? Let's get into that.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, let's talk about the pandemic and 2020. When you were met with all of what we found, what happened with 2020, how did that affect your family? How did that affect your household?
So my household went through major transitions in 2018, 19, and 20, right? So the pandemic didn't just start with COVID. There are several pandemics happening for brown people all over the world right now, on top of COVID. And so stress, anxiety, sleepless nights, panicked days for myself, for the children, for my other family members. And so when this opportunity presented itself, I looked at the pros. I didn't even look at the cons because I didn't have space for cons at that point, right? Mm-hmm. So we get to choose our battles. And this was something that I decided was going to work for us because it's necessary.
So talk about, you said that you guys all felt like the anxiety, the
Yeah.
stress, etc. Talk about your relationship with cannabis. Were you previously any sort of cannabis user? Was this
Never anything. Like never smoked a cigarette, never rubbed any topical, never anything. Not because I was against it, but I just hadn't gone in that direction, right?
okay?
And then when all of the things happened, it's like, okay, do I want to take pills? No, right? Because I still have to function. I still have to be all of the things that I was prior to pandemic, prior to everything going on, right? So I wanted a way to manage it, to manage the stress, to manage the anxiety without feeling out of my mind. And I have to take a drug test. So you never
Right.
know when that's going to happen. And so,
So you
this
are
was,
you're
I'm a
employed by the federal
federal,
government.
yes,
Oh, okay. So
yes.
to manage your anxiety, what way did you incorporate CBD outside of the kit? Like prior to the kit, had you sampled anything with CBD in it, or what
No,
things had you
no. The
really?
first thing that I sampled was what I made,
Stop it.
was what I made.
So
Yeah.
then what made you make the leap? Like what made federal government employee,
Mm-hmm.
mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are two conservative roles,
Mm-hmm.
traditionally in and of itself. So
Right.
what made you say, okay, this makes sense. Like I can do this. Like what made you make that connection?
The numbers make sense. When you look at the marketplace and you look at the changes to laws and the fact that it's legal in all 50 states, the fact that there are studies that show, the reduction of anxiety, reduction of heart disease, possible relief from chronic pain and all of the things that I wanted to make sure I didn't participate in. That's what made the sense. And then anything you touch, it makes sense.
You
So,
guys can't keep saying me. I mean, like
I mean,
everybody don't know that I'm actually a good person. Some people
well,
just don't
no,
know, but
no.
I
When
think
you
it is
put,
the numbers.
when you speak about it and teach the ins and outs, right? Like so many people go into business because it's a fad or because the person that's introducing them to it is popular or it's what's popping right now. But for me, it has to be a long term.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have the time to put into something that I don't believe in. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what makes sense. And I've reached out to you in other situations and I've been able to have
Make some
nothing but
money. Just tell the
success,
people you
man.
make
Nothing but
money. You make
success.
money. That's what
Nothing
we
but
do.
success. Yeah. But it's more than money. It's about
Yeah.
peace, right? It's about legacy, generational wealth, and building and showing my children how to build, right? And
Yeah.
showing them something that I may not have been shown in this capacity, right? Like my parents both had their same jobs for 47 years and they're married and retired and have no cares in the world, but the world is
Right.
different now than it was in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
One stream of income, once you get your house, you set. But now everything's up in the air. And so I
Yeah.
can't get caught slipping. I have to make sure that I have several ways to provide.
Well, I always say that, first of all, one stream of income is financial suicide. And then the other thing that's so important to remember is that we don't live in a pension society anymore. We can't
Mm-hmm.
count on Social Security. We can't count on any of the things that our parents and our grandparents used to
Right.
count on. As a matter of fact, we have to build out multiple streams for retirement
Yes.
in this season of our life just to be able to survive, especially you think about 20 years ago, you could spend $20 at the grocery store and it would last you a couple of days. Today, you go into a grocery store with $20 and you may walk out with three things.
Mm-hmm.
Three things. And it's like inflation is eating up the value of a dollar. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things about my personality as a business owner. I'm not trendy either. I am, though, someone who likes to see and seize opportunity. And I think that has come from the real estate aspect of my mindset. And even when seeing this, when I saw cannabis open up, I'm just like, well, wait a minute. If it's going to open up, then why not find a place or the path of least resistance so
Right.
that not only can I participate, but if I'm going through the door, then let me leave it wide open for others to be able to come through and get theirs as well. So I want to ask you a couple of questions because I know people are dying to question, like, well, if I get this kit and I don't know Q, like, will I be successful? Because I want people to understand there's not one person who has this kit whose success is based on my involvement, other than the fact that I've created the opportunity and the e-course is there. But I want to talk about some of your previous business experience. What are some of the things that you did in business prior to perhaps this entrepreneurial journey? What were some of the things that you've made before from your home that you've done, or wherever you've done your part-time businesses?
So I'm a certified bridal consultant. I've been in the wedding and events industry for 18 and a half years, right? So I'm a wedding professional. I'm an event professional. I do trade shows and major events all across the world. That is amazing. I love it because I love the end result, right? That I can see the transformation and to see the smile on the client's face, right? And to make it go from nothing to something, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's across all genres, because then I decided to take a leap of faith and become a wholesaler. And as you know, we are going to closing on the 22nd. And so that is a leap of faith, right? But I
Right.
think with any opportunity that you're presented, you get the information. If you don't have enough information, you ask questions, but then you got to go on your own and figure some things out, right? Like you can't fully be dependent on somebody else to make it happen for you. If it's important enough, you'll wake up in the middle of the night like, I
Oh
really
yeah.
got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
I think that that's one of the good things about this CBD business launch kit, is that the e-course is so informational. Like when I got the link, I looked at it in one evening. Like while I was watching CNN, once the commercials came on, I clicked it back on and got through it. I care enough to pay attention, and I care enough to take
Yeah.
notes and make it happen. Then I came to my kitchen, and all weekend, one call after the next. I didn't think it was going to happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
So I want to break down what you're saying so that everybody can really follow. So Sabrina, you're saying that you had previous experience as a business owner in event planning. You
mm-hmm,
also have done some real estate transactions. You've made
mm-hmm.
money in both. Have you ever made anything with your hands? Like, have you ever done any sort of product that you crafted with your
No,
hands?
no,
Wow.
no.
And so
Yes. Oh,
you,
I'm sorry. I do have my shirt company, the Affirmation Shop. So I make all of those products with my hands. So
right.
other than that, nothing that is ingestible have I
Yeah.
ever made by hand.
I
So
want to,
I mean,
I
my
want to speak
products.
I want to speak to your entrepreneurial experience. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when I work with people, we live in a day and age where people feel that if I think about success, I should be successful. And I have to oftentimes remind people that, no one's entitled to success.
Right.
Success is something that you have to earn daily. I mean, I remember, telling myself when I first started as a business owner is that, you pay the price for success every day up front and in full, but it's rented. You can never own it. So each day you have to wake up. You have to
Mm-hmm.
bounce back from a failure. You have to bounce back from a setback. You have to navigate through life challenges, because even
Mm-hmm.
though you decide to start a new venture and go on the journey of creating financial freedom and generational wealth, life still goes on. And so you may
Absolutely.
have,
Absolutely.
issues and breakdowns and all of these things, and you have to decide to get back up. How, in your previous experience with your other occupational or part-time endeavors, have you noticed that you've developed a tenacity that keeps you going as a business owner, despite what may be happening?
So for me, I'm born, right, from two people who are go-getters, right? And so I saw that. I saw them get up every day and make something out of nothing. But my life is very different. I was an only child. I have three. We're homeschooling. My son was supposed to go to New York for college. So then we deal with the emotional trauma that you can't go to New York because of COVID. So for me, I'm a to-do list maker. I check it twice. I write everything down. I set reminders. I set time in my calendar. Like today, every Monday, I have 2 hours of a purposeful break, right? Where I can choose to do content creation, spend time with the kids, with them away from their games, or make phone calls or handle business, right? But you have to be intentional. Like whatever it is that you're going to do, you have to be intentional because nobody owes you anything, right? Even the people that you feel like owe you,
Right.
don't,
Right.
and don't give a damn sometimes, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And are going through their own struggles, right? And so in the morning, I get up, I set my intentions, I make time, I make phone calls, and I figure it out. It's not easy, but
Right.
when it's necessary, you figure it out. And I just don't want to get caught slipping. Like you have to prepare yourself as much as possible in 2020, 21, you know, it's like not an option. And
It's post COVID.
if I spent my money on this kit,
You got to make it back.
I got to make it back.
You know, I love that because one of the things that I oftentimes tell people is you can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. And I find a lot of times that we can find ourselves stuck in an emotional space where we're like, oh, well, you know, I really, really wanted this, but such and such. And it's like, no, 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 no. Like, dry those tears, because at the end of the day, your goals and your dreams don't care. Like everybody knows I'm the most non-emotional person ever. Don't bring emotions around me because I don't understand them. Because either you're going to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which is what this kit is all about. Like you have the ability to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and put yourself into this space and choose to be personally involved in the cannabis industry, or you can wait and let the industry blow up and you not be a part of it. And that's something that we definitely don't recommend. So I want to talk about this weekend. This was your first weekend testing out, working with the distillate. So this is your first time working with distillate.
Yes.
What did you use to give you examples of what to make with your distillate so that you can have something for sale?
The e-course.
Did you at all use this guide that we had? The CBDPRENEURS guide?
Everything that came in the box, it makes sense. It's very well put together. Open the box, right? Like I didn't open my box for 2 days because everything else was going on. But I set the time and I said, I'm going in my room, I'm going to close my door and I'm going to open my box and I'm going to read it, right? And then I emailed you and I said, is the e-course available? You said yes. Like the video is so easy, it's so digestible, right? And that was it. Like that was probably 2 days before I started, and the only reason I did it on Saturday was because I didn't have to leave the house. And my phone has been ringing. There have been people visiting that have not visited ever, right? Saying, hey, what is it that you have? And I don't have all of my products ready, right? Because USPS is delayed, right? So I'm waiting on some things. But what I could do, I did.
So what did you make? Tell everybody what you actually made.
I've made probably 4 batches of brownies.
Okay, brownies.
And I've made gummies.
Okay,
and
gummies.
That's it. You know, I package them real cute and put the necessary information on there that is spelled out for you in the e-course. And
it's amazing.
Yeah. Very, very amazing.
So let's go backwards. So you make brownies, you make gummies, you looked at the e-course, you got information, you got some ideas. Working with the distillate. Now we actually include, for those of you who are intrigued, this distillate has like a honey-like consistency. So we actually include distillate handling instructions in the e-course. We tell you how to warm it up so that you can use it, etc. I'm going to tell you guys a funny story because we're all family here and this is amazing. Because I'm excited. I get excited when people get it, right? Because we don't have to overcomplicate making money. It's just kind of like, let's just put one foot in front of the other. And the more we perfect our process, the more profitable we'll be. Right. It never starts perfect, but you start with a profitable process. So someone asked, are we offering the kit separate from the e-course? No, the e-course is only available with the e-course and vice versa. So it comes as a package. we are not educating in this space. We are wholesalers. We are literally growing cannabis and wholesaling the hemp in an extract, and we provide you with an e-course to understand what it is. So one of the things that Sabrina, when she emailed us, she said, I said, how much, when she emailed back, she was mentioning that she didn't know how much she had put. She was like, I think I put about 2 milligrams in each brownie. I said, 2 milligrams in each brownie? That's almost impossible. And she said, well, I only use 0.6 milliliters. Sabrina, do you have the syringe there to show them what 0.6 milliliters looks like?
Hold on.
Please go get it. So that this is so funny to me. The reason why I want you guys to see this is because a lot of times people ask, like, how long will my distillate last? When I say that you can make thousands of items, okay, so that's one of the syringes that that actually comes in the kit.
Yes. So 0.6 milliliters is right where my finger is.
That is the amount of distillate that she used. And 0.6 milliliters, guys, is 600 milligrams. 600. And she made 10 brownies. So how potent were your brownies?
60
milligrams per brownie.
Yeah.
If you go to an edible shop and you find a 60, 70 milligram brownie, you may think, because you don't know the concentration of distillate, that that's using a lot of material. But how much did you use again? Did it make a significant dent in your stock of distillate?
Not all weekend. I mean, I use 6.6 in every batch.
Wow.
And in the gummies. So I made over 120 gummies.
Wow.
And I've made 30 brownie, 3 batches, 30 brownies. Yeah. So, and you can't tell that I've even used any of it.
You can't tell that you've used any of the distillate.
No.
So now you understand how you can get thousands of pieces, thousands of units of edibles from a 50-gram distillate case.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. That's one of the things that I really wanted to stress, guys, because what we wanted, you know, what I envisioned this being when I created this opportunity was a part-time business. You know, so many people lost the ability to go to a part-time job because of COVID. They lost the ability to go to the movie theater or to the mall and work, or to a salon and work, or to a gym and work, because so many of these businesses were shut down. But, you know, the need for financial freedom, or the need for additional streams of income, didn't go away. Parents still had children to parent. You know, kids are home, so they were eating more. Let's get into that.
Killing Instacart. Killing Instacart.
Was it
4 times a week?
Wow.
4 times a week, $200.
So would you say that with the pandemic, your household expenses went up?
Yeah. The lights are on. The water is up. You eat, like, they eat so much food. I just ordered Instacart again this evening, and I ordered it on Saturday. I think it's Monday. You know, like, it's a real thing, but I don't tell my children, no, you can't eat, right? Because it's my job. It's my responsibility to provide. And so, by any means necessary. So this is another reason that this makes sense.
Let me ask you this then. So with that thought, talk about the government and how they provided, like, pandemic relief, stimulus relief, in terms of a contribution to aiding and supporting the increase. Has that helped, or do you feel that it's super important to save yourself?
You mean the $600? I mean, thank you. I appreciate the $600. Actually, I got more than that because I got 3. I understand that. But what else is there? Right? I'm not willing to be mediocre. I don't want to live a life of mediocrity. And so I can't stop. I can't stop. No matter what. And it's some things. There are some things and some reasons, and people are losing their lives, and this is a tough time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, I don't get to stop. No matter what it is, you just don't get to stop. You don't get to give up on yourself, right? And for me, like, my children are watching, and they know mommy is in business, and they know, you know, my logo and my brands and different things like that. And if you're going to teach, you know, teach it, be what you say you want to be, get what you say you want to get, and stop blaming everybody else for it, you know?
Wow. So I love Sabrina's story because I love her conviction. That's part of the reason why I wanted her to talk today, because there are so many moms, so many parents who found themselves having to look at the responsibility of leading a household and providing for a household, and had to question where are these resources going to come from, because we are literally dead in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, it's like there's so much that we can't control. And one of the things that I've always been passionate about is understanding that we do have the power to create our own economy. I feel that, you know, I have one of my, she's like an aunt, but she's really like a cousin. My cousin Minnie is on this live, and she's one of the best bakers in our family. Like literally, she bakes the best cakes, pies, everything. Minnie, if there's a family event, Minnie B's baking, right? But what I love is that that is a skill that so many people have that they haven't properly monetized. And when you look at the fact that you are able to add an extract, which you added your CBD distillate to, I think, Evu, did you mention? Or you use like a base to MC?
Yeah.
Did you use butter
Evu.
or how did you bake your brownies?
Extra virgin olive oil from Costco.
Wow.
$6.
Wow. And so your materials to make your brownies cost was $5, $7?
About $8, because I got the brownie boxes from Costco, the extra virgin olive oil from the Costco, my eggs from the Costco. I already had it in the house. I didn't make extra trips.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much did you sell your brownies for?
$10 a brownie.
$10 a brownie. So you made about $300 off of brownies alone this weekend.
Yes.
And then you made an additional whatever off of the gummies.
Yes.
One weekend.
A day and a half.
A day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
All because you know how to cook.
I mean, the instructions are on the box. I didn't even put anything extra in it, you know?
That is amazing.
It's good. And it helps. Apparently it's helping, because I've had people come back more than once, you know, who were unable to sleep, who were unable to, you know, bring it down a notch, if you will.
Right.
And so, I mean, the need is there, right? And then it tastes good. And so hopefully when the rest of my products come, we'll be able to assist people in other ways with the bath bombs and the whipped shea butters and all of those other things that we're going to offer.
I want to go back. I know I'm saying a lot, guys. I want you guys to give Sabrina a round of applause in the form of hearts, because she has literally taken this kit and her entrepreneurial experience, and she's turned it into an opportunity for herself and for her family. And I don't take that lightly. I want to talk about the business and the generational wealth and being in position where there's a major wealth trend. I've been preaching this. I preach these things often. You know, in real estate investing, I tell people you want to buy the worst house on the best block. You want to make sure that you are identifying what area is emerging, and then you want to jump into that space. Well, that's the same way that I felt about the cannabis industry. We've watched the cannabis industry over the last 15 years become more and more normalized. Netflix, you know, really led the way by introducing us to Northern California growers, people who were advocating for plant health over pills, you know, really kind of denouncing opioid addiction and big pharmaceutical companies and promoting the benefits of cannabis. And that was in the 2000s. And now we're in 2021, where we have the NFL, the NHL, and the NBA. Those entities have literally decided not to test for cannabis, because they understand that this plant isn't just for people to get high. Mm-hmm. This plant is literally for people to get healed. Yes. There are qualities in this plant, in our system, guys, in our body, just like we have a digestive system, just like we have a nervous system, we have something that's called an endocannabinoid system. And for those of you who are CBDPRENEUR business kit owners, you guys are going to have master classes that's going to really, we're going to bring nurses to you to dive deeper into what this endocannabinoid system has. But this system is said to be able to alleviate pain, anxiety, issues with acne, nerve issues, etc., if the endocannabinoid receptors are activated and the CBD inside of this cannabis plant activates that system. So with that said, Sabrina, one of the things that I also wanted to ask you about as a business owner, as someone who's decided to see and seize opportunities in the past, what did you see about the direction of this industry? What did you see about what was happening in this space that made you decide to say, you know, I'm not going to let this cannabis boom pass me by? Like the Bitcoin boom may have, you know, kind of slightly missed a few people, you know what I'm saying? But now we are on the frontier of the cannabis explosion. And although cannabis hasn't been legalized everywhere, CBD has. Hemp-derived CBD has. So what did that say to you from a business perspective when you looked at all of these agencies and the NBA and the NFL saying, okay, we're not going to test for cannabis? How did that like enlighten you to the size of the opportunity?
So I look at it from a federal standpoint because of my 9 to 5, right? And I look at all of the stress that is now the new norm as a result of racial inequities and the pandemic from coronavirus and all of those things, on top of all the pre-existing conditions that our people already had. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at the numbers and you go back and you look at the studies and you look at, okay, do I want to do CBD, which has non psychoactive properties, versus opioids that then turn into addiction, that then turn into abuse, that then turn into, you know, death and people being locked up for years? You know what I'm saying? Which path, right? You got to choose one. For me, I deal with anxiety. It's not social anxiety, but it's anxiety. We all have our childhood traumas and things like that that we deal with. And so at some point you have to get in front of the problem. Right? Introduce something to your family that's going to get in front of the problem. You know, therapy and things like that. Something that's going to help. And if it's going to help your mental and your physical and your pocket, where's the wrong? Like, what are we doing that we shouldn't be doing? I'm just saying. And then on top of that, you know, I deal with security clearances and things of that nature. And so I cannot participate in something that would end up with a federal or what do you call it? A lie detector test or, you know, anything like that. So it's legit.
I love it.
It's legit. And the information is there, right? So I don't have to just go on what you say. It's type it in, Google it, and it's out in the open for you. So
people who are younger don't know about the Encyclopedia Britannica, but Google is the new Britannica.
Yes, or the card catalog.
Or the card catalog. Good Lord. But I like the fact that you said that you can look and you can see evidence of society shifting. And that's when you know that the information that is time to plant your flag. It is the time to invest. I say this all the time. The time to invest is when the opportunity is still obscure. When you are clear enough to know that it's okay to proceed, but it's still obscure enough, that means not everybody's involved. Not everybody has an infused CBD product. Not everybody has one. Not everyone has the capacity. Someone asked, are you going to make your whipped shea butter at home? Are you going to make your whipped shea butter at home?
For now. But then when it becomes too much for me to make it home, the e-course has provided me with information to have someone else do it for me.
We talk about white labeling and private labeling and ways to scale your small batch manufacturing in the e-course. And guys, what small batch manufacturing means is being able to make small batches of products from the comfort of your home, machinery that's tabletop that you can purchase for under $500 that can help really automate and speed up your process, so that if you have to process 200 or 300 orders a week as your business grows, then you'll be able to do that. And then once you get tired of doing it on your own, then of course you can definitely scale and outsource. And what I love, the e-course also provides for those who are interested, the e-course also provides insight on where to get your products tested. Because know that, guys, when the distillate arrives, it arrives with its own COA. So you receive a certificate of analysis that breaks down what the components are in this batch. But then when you actually add this to a component that you're going to sell retail, like a shea butter, a bath bomb, or something like that, you would send that sample off for additional testing so that once those chemicals are added, you can confirm that it's still legal, is under 0.3% THC, and you're able to sell it. And then you can pass that COA on to your customers so that they can be confident in what they're using. And we go over all of that, because one of the things that I preach is shelf-worthy products. I don't want you guys, you know, I'm not the type of person that does anything on a whim. I like to create a path and a plan around what I create before launching. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, because it's very important for a person to trust your brand and to trust what you're providing them. And so we give you instructions on how to get your product tested. Sabrina, I'm just excited. I'm excited that this year, as I mentioned, I wanted this kit to be that part-time business. I know so many people who will go to a restaurant part-time or a bar part-time, nights and weekends, or, you know, work at a retail spot, and they don't make more than, let's say, $500 to $800 a month extra, right? And that is about 13, maybe 12, 11 to $12,000 a year extra. But that matters. That matters to their family. It matters to their household. It matters to their cash flow. And when I created this kit, I said, if I were to go and get a part-time job, I would want to at least be able to make about $20,000 to $25,000 on the side. And this distillate, guys, has a shelf life of about at least 2 years, about 2.5 years is what it said. If you keep it in a cool environment, and not in the refrigerator. Well, you can keep it in the refrigerator during summer months, but not in the coldest area of the refrigerator, but certainly in an area that keeps it cool. 2 years of a shelf life. So basically what we're saying is, instead of you having to go and clock in to someone else's location, instead of you having to leave your house and drive and expose yourself to COVID, going to get an extra few dollars a month, then you can literally clock into your kitchen, right? Clock into your dream, into your opportunity, your brand that you will be building for yourself so that you can create that extra income. And that's what this kit is all about. I wanted to ask you something that just came to me. How has it been, your children seeing you do this? Like, how have they internalized, like, mommy's baking for people? Like, how has that experience been, you know, being that example for them?
It's not new, right? They know that I'll do anything for them. They know that I have businesses. They see me on calls. This is their normal. And that's because that's what I choose for it to be, right? I don't want to leave them. I never want to leave them. And so for me to be able to make decisions that are in line with the things that I want, right? Because I'm now learning that the things that I want are okay, right?
Yeah, okay.
It's good for me to be able to say, no, I don't want to do that. Or yes, I do want to do that. Do I want to leave wealth for my children when I'm no longer here? Absolutely. But I want to show them how to build it. I don't want to leave them with something that they can't maintain, that they can't build over and over and over again. And so for me, this makes sense. I don't have to leave home to do this.
That's good.
I don't have to leave home to buy a product.
Right, Instacart.
Everything comes. I mean, even the large drum of shea butter, the large drum of almond oil, all of that's on the way. I've never gone to Ohio to pick it up, right? But I'm still going to be able to provide this amazing product that's going to help somebody else. And I'm going to be able to help myself, and I'm going to be able to help my children. And they see me doing it. And that pushes me on the days when I don't want to do it, because they're watching me.
Guys, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I want to make sure that we get your questions answered. Sabrina, you mentioned that you had never tried before the kit any sort of cannabis or cannabis extract. So tell us about your first experience. What did you try first, a gummy or a brownie?
I tried the gummies first. and they're Starburst flavor, and they're so good. And so I was like, oh man, this is good, like it was amazing. And then I tried probably a half a brownie, and that was good. Everybody sent me text messages and calls and were like, oh my God, this is so good. Like I'm sitting
Wow.
here, I'm relaxing. I haven't laid back in like a week or two, but
Wow.
I'm a Netflix and chill today. And,
Wow.
just all good. I've not had one bad response. And if I did, I would say it because,
yeah, it's business.
yeah, you can't please everybody all the
Right.
time, but I pleased everyone this weekend. I pleased everyone this weekend, and everybody was chilling, relaxing.
That's
That's
what
the
makes me
goal.
happy.
Relax, mom. Right?
I love giving out good vibes. Like to
Yes.
me, it's about distributing good vibes throughout the world. And it makes me so happy that
Yeah.
our little farm in Eastern North Carolina is able to grow cannabis that we're able to then extract to this CBD extract
Yeah.
that you guys can put into things and give out good vibes.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to just kind of, really kind of round out the conversation this way and just really discuss what you see the future. Like, are you doing this just to have some extra money on the side? Or what do you see yourself in this CBD marketplace?
So I don't see extra money on the side, right? I see longevity in every single thing that I do, right? Because my time is valuable, my intellectual property is valuable, and I believe that this is going to be bigger than my house. It's going to be bigger than a factory. You know what I'm saying? It
That's
needs to
right.
be a nationwide, an international business, because there are people who need it, right? There's a need for peace, and there's a need for people to not be as dependent
Yeah.
on pills, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And things that you don't get to say how much of whatever is in a pill that your doctor prescribes, right?
That's
You
true.
don't get to say, okay, I'm not going to crash from this medication until I get home. It can happen in the office. It can happen while you're on your way, right? But the product that you are providing is, for me, it means peace.
Mm-hmm.
And that matters like nobody would ever know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just is, I'm so excited, to be able to join you in the journey. It's amazing. And now it's the new norm, right? So I get to
Ryan has a
show.
question for you. He asked, how many gummies did you put in one pack and how much did you charge? So what was your
Yeah.
dosage per gummy? I think it was about 10 milligrams you mentioned per gummy when you,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. And so there were 4 to 5 per container, and they're $10.
So
But they're
Ryan,
big
there's your,
hearts. They're large.
so they're
Yeah.
not the normal small
They're
gummies. They're a
not a
little bit
small gummy.
larger.
It's larger. It's like twice the size of a normal gummy bear.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
perfect. So based on the size of your mold that you get, if you have a kit and you're making gummies, then you can just kind of measure the size. What type of container did you put in? I always am fascinated by packaging and what people choose. So what type of container did you put your gummies in?
Where all of my brand is going to be clear with gold. So just, when you determine whatever your brand or what you would like for people to see when they see your products, to have that brand recognition, everything is clear with gold. So clear
That's good.
container with gold lids.
There was another question that I wanted to ask you. I just like to get this information out. Guys, if you have other questions, I just know that there's so much that's packed in this kit that I wish I could bring out in a conversation. But one of the things Sabrina said is that she anticipates it growing beyond her house, that she's excited that she doesn't have to leave her house to make money. Mm-hmm. She doesn't even have to leave her house to get the products that she needs to make the products to make money. Where are you selling these other where are you going to sell these products? Are you planning to always sell, hand to cash, or
no? Yeah, so we have not launched our website yet. It should be launched in the next week, to be able to purchase the products on our site.
So you're going to go e-commerce route?
E-commerce, yes.
Absolutely. And did the CBD, the kit, the entrepreneur, the educational portion of it,
yes,
how did it prepare you for that e-commerce journey?
It's all written out. it's amazing. That's why when I got it, I sent you a message. I was like, wait, this is too easy. This is too easy. It's literally spelled out. There's resource sections, so you can always go back. I still have access to it, even though I've completely watched it twice. I can just pull up the link and go back to it. I referred to it for my gummies when I was making my gummies, to the video of you and the young lady making gummies. And, you know, I got the information that I needed. I was able to write it down in my notebook that's provided in the kit as well. And so, you know, keeping my recipes and being able to have consistency, so that when you get a brownie, you're always going to get the same brownie. When you get a gummy, you're always going to get the same gummy. It's spelled
exactly
out.
what we wanted. Yeah,
It's
that's
spelled
exactly
out.
what we wanted. One of the things that I wanted to share is that, you know, the cannabis industry, guys, is very, very different from any other industry from a marketing perspective. And so the e-course is meant to be a guide. It is not every ounce of information that you need to be a business owner in the cannabis industry. The Bible says you study to show yourself approved. Meaning, not only do you study the e-course, but you study other materials and you become a part of advisory organizations so that you can see where the industry is going. But what I endeavored to do with the e-course, and not just myself, but we have a team, a phenomenal WH Farms team, and I shout them out because they are amazing. We wanted to get rid of the noise and just pinpoint the details that were needed to get to the bag. Right? There's a lot of conversations around cannabis and all of this other stuff. And a lot of that stuff isn't really necessary. We wanted to make sure that we were able to put in the e-course the basic, fundamental, foundational knowledge that was needed to get to the bag. So we go over how to label your products. We go over how to interpret and use the measurements from your COA. We go over sample videos to show you demonstrations on how to make certain things with your product, with your kit. We also discuss in the e-course marketing, what language to use and what language to not use, which social media platforms will allow you to promote a CBD infused product, which ones won't, how to really understand email language, how to use the correct language so that you're able to get the widest reach. And we find that that's so important because you could, you know, create a product and then throw it up on social media and try to run an ad and not realize that because this is an edible, right? IG and Facebook won't allow you to promote a CBD infused edible. So because it's an edible, it'll say, no, the promotion is canceled. We enjoy taking you through the journey so that you can even decide which product you're going to start with. So what I love, Sabrina, is that you basically have designed a product line where you are helping moms relax.
Yes.
And the name of the company is Relax Mom.
Yes.
And we know that the dispensaries were open in the middle of a pandemic, so it's clear that everybody needs to relax.
Yes, everybody. Moms, dads, non-moms, non-dads.
Yeah.
But
and what has been some of the reviews that you've gotten from your product so far?
That it's necessary, right? Like, who doesn't use an after shower oil? Who doesn't use shea butter? Who doesn't love gummies? Who doesn't use a bath bomb, right? So for me, I think about all of the things that I need, right? And I want to provide it. I want to be able to be the one-stop shop. You know, you don't have to leave your house because we'll mail it to you. It'll be the same product every time, and you'll get what it is that you need, right? Without the psychoactive effects.
I love it. I love it. And guys, don't forget, you know, I'm not your accountant. You should see your accountant. But if your business is set up in such a way that your kids, you can write off their labor, there's another tax savings opportunity and all of the benefits that come along with running a home-based business. It's just it's a wealth-minded thing to do. I tell people, if you're going to take a bet on yourself. You know, clearly this is a business investment. You know, so it's a starter kit to help you invest in a business, not just so you can make a return, but so you can reap the benefits, the tax benefits of a business owner with a home-based business. And that just gives you like exponential return on the value of the kit. We are going to be starting some phenomenal things. The e-course is even going to expand even more. We have more in store because we've just decided that we want to pour into the CBDpreneurs. We want to pour into the people who are interested. This is I'm kind of asking questions that I get a lot to make sure that we get these questions answered here. A lot of times people ask if this is direct sales, if it's their product. Explain to people that this is literally your concentration that you're putting in your product with your name and your website and your profits. Explain that piece.
So in the e-course, you know, you're given instructions on how to set up the LLC. You're given instructions on how to retrieve your EIN, and it's mine, right? I purchased the distillate. I don't owe WH Farms anything outside of what I spent to purchase the kit. I can go back to WH Farms to get more distillate because I'm going to need it, right? Absolutely. But it's my profit. I mean, it's not an MLM. I participated in that. This is not that by a long shot. There's no groups. We're not a team. You know, we're not an R&B group. We're family. But I don't get what anybody else, you know, is selling. That's a receive the launch kit, and they don't get anything of mine. It's a sole proprietorship. That's how I've set it up. Now you can set up your business however you set yours up, but mine is mine.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I see Anissa, another CBDpreneur, is here. She said it's one of the best investments she's made in 2020. Anissa's quote was so phenomenal. She said during my conversation with her that her daughter bought her sublingual drops because she was having a problem sleeping back in 2019, early 2020. And then toward the end of the year, now she has this kit and she's empowered and in position to make her own drops. And that's been my biggest thing, guys. You know, I'm going to wrap up here, but I just want to make sure that you guys have a chance to hear from people who are purchasing the kit, who are using the distillate. Like Sabrina says, she's made about 500 to 600 pieces of something this weekend, 300 brownies, over 130, 120 gummies, and she hasn't even put a dent in her container of distillate. That's how concentrated it is, how many times she's been able to infuse this distillate into product. So that goes to show how long it will last her. But the goal has been for me to give everyone an opportunity to create their own economy, to give people an opportunity to participate in a space where they didn't feel that they perhaps could participate in. I see Lady Logistics, she and I are kindred spirits in that we professionally have been in male-dominated industries. And so as women who have been in male-dominated industries, me in commercial real estate, Lady Logistics in trucking, you, Sabrina, in the federal government, these male-dominated industries often make us feel as if we don't have a place or we don't belong. And what I wanted was to give everybody an opportunity to say, I actually can own in the cannabis space. I can own a CBD brand. I can create a shelf-worthy product that as I grow and as I sell it and as I continue to expand, it could perhaps be on the local, you know, the shelf of a local store or the shelf of a grocery store, because that's what I can do. And we have to start sharing hope with our community, because the more hope we share, the more opportunities we provide our community, the more we realize that with our own hands, with our own resources, we have what we need to take care of ourselves. We, you know, thank you. I don't see the $600, but to the, you know, thank you to the 600 or whatever that goes out. Yeah. But we don't have to depend on anyone to save us. We can save ourselves. And so that's the encouragement that I want to give everybody tonight. Sabrina, do you want to say any last words before we wrap up?
I just want to say that I'm thankful. I just appreciate, you know, just how you pour out, and it makes a difference. It really, really makes a difference. I mean, it's ultimately on each of us to actually take the leap, but the information is there, and you always answer my questions. And every time,
and it's not just me, guys, it's really me and the team.
Every time I send an email with a question, it's answered, right?
Yeah.
The information, though, the sharing of that information in that e-course, that seals the deal. I mean, you're pointed in the right direction. You can't type for me. I can type for myself. It took me 2 minutes to get my EIN.
Wow.
2 minutes. Google it, type your information in, and they email it to you immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It
No
takes
excuses.
no time to start an LLC. It takes no time to place an order, right? What's going to take time is if you're broke. You got to be figuring out.
And that's a good point, because a lot of times people, I've gotten some DMs and people will reach out and they'll say, you know, like, this is, I don't have the ability to purchase the kit. And the kit is an investment, guys. It's not, it's a reasonable, very reasonable investment for what you're able to create. I mean, you literally can make almost 10 times the amount that you invest in revenue. But I tell people all the time, if you don't have the money to start a business, don't start the business. Right? Because you're going to have to feed the business. The business is like a baby.
Yeah.
You can't just start the business and then expect the business to make you money until it's fed. And you have to care about what you are producing so that you can put your care into the marketplace, so that you can show people that you care about them through the product that you develop, because that's the reputation that your business is going to have. That's the way your brand is going to grow, and that's how you're going to make money. So for those who are watching and you're saying like, yeah, I really want the kit, but you may not be able to do it like right now, think about that. Think about the fact that it's not just the investment of the kit, but you're going to have to buy your materials. You're going to have to market. And those are the things that's needed to make a business successful. When I developed this kit, my bonus son was preparing for barbering school. And barbering school is $18,000. I had no idea. No idea that barbering school was so expensive as we were looking at all of these schools. And one of the things that they offered was a kit. And they said the entire time, like, oh, it's an investment into your business. You know, you get a kit so that you're able to succeed. You have to take these hours. We teach you how to do this, etc. And as I sat there and I thought about it, I said, well, if people want to get into the CBD space and they want to create a product, then they too can have a kit to do so. And it is not even, it's almost what, 20% of what an $18,000 investment is. So I want you guys to remember that this is not an expense, but an investment. And it's an investment into a business in a space that's still foreign, where it's still the wild, wild west, where there's still opportunity to get in and grab a hold of the market and really penetrate it with your product, where you can introduce your family and friends to CBD, because they're going to get it from the grocery store. They're going to get it from it's everywhere already. Somebody's already trying it. Why are they not trying your product? So I want to make sure that I share that. If you guys have any questions, our Instagram is kicking us off. The timer is on. So shout out your page again, Sabrina, so they know where to follow you.
Okay, it's Relax Mom Co. I'll put it in the comments.
Relax Mom Co. Follow Sabrina. She's going to have some products available. You can follow WH Farms, WH Farms Co. also on Instagram. Guys, if you have any question, my team is phenomenal. Make sure you send us an email. It seems as if one person is responding because we literally have one email, but we did it that way on purpose so that we can just make sure that we create community with this opportunity. And Sabrina, we salute you. We salute you for making bread this weekend, yes, for taking your entrepreneurial tenacity and turning this kid into something, for being an example for your kids, and for controlling your household income and not letting anyone control it for you.
Yep.
Because God knows, you know, we need to be able to control our household income.
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow night, 6:30, I'm going to be on with a phenomenal business owner out of North Carolina about how to make 6 figures from your kitchen. Make sure you join us. Everybody have a great night.